Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Nolitha, Nolitha, Ndlazi, Ndlazi. I am South African, but currently teaching English in China, Beijing. Well, I've done some videos regarding teaching or working overseas. So the first one was requirements for working overseas, and the second one, Facebook groups to join to get more information on job adverts, as well as information on living in the countries. So today I'm going to talk about two important documents for employment in South Africa as well as abroad. So one is important for both South African employment as well as abroad, which is your police clearance certificate. The second one being your passport. So let me start with the police clearance certificate because of the turnaround time, and most important because it is your criminal background check. It's a document that okays you, that says you have no criminal record, are employable in South Africa or abroad. So how do you get this criminal background check done? So in order to get your police clearance certificate, you need to go to a local police station in your area. You will need to bring with your South African ID worth 114 South African rands. So at the police station, what they will do, the police will complete the form on your behalf. They will take the fingerprints from both hands, your right and your left, and they will make a copy of your ID and certify it. You will then need to pay 114 rands at the finance office at the police station. Once you are done, you go back to the police officer that assisted you. They will then give you the 3 documents which you will need to take with to Courier, to Pretoria, the Criminal Record Center. The police will either give you a courier service company to use to courier the documents, as well as the address in Pretoria where you need to courier the papers to. Lastly, the email address and telephone number of Criminal Record Center when you need to follow up on your application status. So the courier service company is not a big issue. You could use the one at the police station or use your own. The amount you would expect to pay around 100, it depends if you're using the police station or their provider, or you use the local post office or any other courier company. It's usually around 100 or just 100 above, 14 or 20. The address you need to send your papers to in Pretoria is Criminal Record Center, 271 Francis Board Street. Francis, Francis, Board, Baard Street, Butongo Plaza West. Butongo, Bothongo Plaza West, Pretoria 0001. That's where you need to courier your application. Now, the police, having given you the Criminal Record Center address as well as the email and telephone number to follow up, You will need to use that later on to check your application status. If you are around Pretoria, you could just go to a nearest police station and just walk in at the Criminal Record Center to deliver your application. I do that as well. I go to my family home in Johannesburg if I'm there, and I just go to the Criminal Record Center and to get that delivered if I don't courier from East London. So the turnaround time, it varies. One teacher has had 1 day turnaround time. I've had a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months. It is not given what to expect. So on paper, it is anything up to, I think, 8 weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think about 8 weeks, the turnaround time. Now, with teachers in South Africa, they are also required to have this document to register as licensed teachers with SACE, South African Council of Educators. So you now are required as a newly qualified or qualified teacher who never registered to be a licensed teacher. So you'll have to apply for a police clearance submitted to SACE so that you get your license to practice as a teacher in South Africa. And this is also required for overseas employment because employers would like to know that you do not have a criminal background, you don't have a criminal record, and you are employable. So that's what it is about. And the turnaround time, we are trying to get it to be lesser and be consistent. And we have tried to escalate through the police, South African police, the presidency, and on Twitter, trying to see if they cannot follow what other countries are doing. For example, I interviewed a teacher from Canada and one from Britain to find out the turnaround time for the police clearance certificate. And they said it could be 3 days. It could take 3 days. If you use the express service, that means you pay more money to get it done faster. So that's what we need to have in the South African government situation. They need to consider having the police clearance delivered at different times, different fees. Those who are in a hurry have it in lesser time and are prepared to pay for it. So we have escalated on Twitter and tried to get it done faster. So for now, those who are struggling, I've had people message me, they're struggling, they're crying, bleeding because they cannot get jobs in South Africa or abroad because this document is not ready. We need to work and we need to make noise. Everybody needs to make noise out there and get the government to do something about it. They do. Trust me, if you make noise enough, eventually they feel the struggle of the people. Unemployment is at almost 50%, documented and undocumented. So sometimes I get people that ask me, am I a criminal if I leave owing Edgar's or have a credit card with a bank or owe my student loan? No, you are not a criminal. To owe Edgar's, you need to get a job to pay back that company. To have an account at Woolworths or have a bank account, credit card, you need to work to pay them back. So they got to give you time to get a job. So you need to get employed even if you had a student loan, as long as you had your certificate, and you will need to then find a way to pay back and to settle your student loan while you are abroad. But the important thing is to get you a job. So it's not a criminal offense to leave the country while you owe businesses, banks, even student loan. It is not a criminal offense at all. So now the second document I would like to talk about, it is your passport. The South African passports, you need to go to Home Affairs, the nearest office. You need to have 400 South African rands and to bring with your ID, South African ID. Your South African ID, they will complete the application, make a copy, as well as you will need to put your telephone number on there to get feedback on the time that it has been received and when you will need to collect your passport. So at Home Affairs, they will assist you with the whole application process. And once you're done, you will receive an SMS stating that they have received your application, and you should and when it's done, you'll also receive a second SMS. Now with the passport at Home Affairs, it takes 3 days, could take 3 days to 2 weeks max. I'm using general research, how many people, number of people I've assisted to get jobs, or people that have applied for passport who've given feedback on Facebook, that it is generally around 3 days to about 2 weeks max to get your passport back from Home Affairs. Now, should you experience any problems getting your passport back, please visit your Home Affairs department again and ask them to escalate. Regarding the passport you need, because you cannot leave the country without the passport. 2, some jobs overseas are reserved based on your nationality. So if you are South African and they need South African teachers, that works in your favor. So you need your passport for employment overseas. And that's why you will need to put it, I would advise you to use it at initial application stage, not leave it for later if you have it. It's valid for 10 years, ladies and gentlemen, so it's not a waste of money to spend 400 rands on that passport. You could use it to travel to other countries in Africa or anywhere else. And you never know. The day you find a job, it will still be valid. It's valid for a while. So the police clearance certificate as well, you need to write your telephone number. They will send you an SMS to confirm they've received your application in Pretoria, as well as send a notification once the process is done, so that you could go to your nearest police station or go to Pretoria and collect your documents. So these 2 documents, I would advise you to send with your initial application. The reason being, it just cuts down the delays in the whole application process, because the sooner you leave, the sooner you get paid. The longer you delay, the more you're sitting in South Africa without a salary. And it's frustrating as well, even for local employment. If you don't have your registration, some schools, they insist on having your SACE registration and everything, that you don't have any criminal record. So that's the reality of getting this document. So you need to put them with your application at the initial stage of application, of your application, and send all of them at that time. And hopefully it will give you a competitive advantage as well when they have to look at all the candidates that have applied, because you have your documents ready and available to be processed by the recruiter. Well, recruiters, they love if you make their job much easier. You have everything available as they're required. You might get an interview so fast. And the next thing, you get that work contract and you should be leaving the country in no time. And some places, the reason you need to have that passport ready all the time, some places in Saudi Arabia, they have a business visa. Business visa, you could be required to be in the country within 3 days or a day. I've had a friend who had interviewed the previous night and the next day she was out of South Africa. out to her new job and to her new country. So having that passport ready with you all the time, it could work in your favor. Always apply for your passport and make sure you do have all your documents ready, updated CV. Make sure your CV, you look at the trends for doing your CV. Put all your information. I'll talk about writing a CV later. Let me leave it. So make sure you have the updated CV, have your references, work references, and have your qualifications. You don't need to certify for overseas employment. You just scan them, clean as they are, including your police clearance certificate and all the documents you're sending through initial application stage. So ladies and gentlemen, I wish you the best in seeking jobs out there, because we know at the moment unemployment is almost at 50% in my country, documented as well as undocumented. Documented is almost 30%. However, we know there are people who are tired from searching for employment and they're now giving up. That's how hard it is. So we gotta do the right thing. Love one another, share love, spread jobs, our land and our jobs now. We'd like to have economic freedom in our lifetime. So, ladies and gentlemen, someone once posted, you do not lose anything by sharing information on jobs. If at work they need a cleaner, they need someone grade 12, anything, just share. Tell them in your churches, tell them anywhere. Don't keep it to yourself. Somebody might qualify or might need it. Don't say your neighbor's children, your churches, places you go to. Spread the information on your timeline, on your Twitter. I've heard at work they need those people, even if it's not at your level of employment. You could be someone high up there, but you've heard they need cleaners. Just share it. Even if you're not a cleaner, just spread the words to help other people get their jobs. So sharing is caring. We gotta love each other. Love is action. We show, we do. By sharing, and we can make a better place. Make this world a better place by sharing our love and giving back to our communities and our people, even strangers. If you have information that could help any other person, please share it. You won't die, it won't kill you. Love, love, love. We gotta live in love, share love, spread love, and make the world a better place. That's all I gotta say today. I'll talk about my next video tomorrow about something else. And I wish you the best, and I wish more South African success and the people of the world better lives, better life. Bye. Take care. Goodbye.